the last few, let's go a little bit quicker. At 16, I've got Oklahoma. It comes down to this. They were 0-5 in one-score games. I think that turns around. I think that when you look at the two games that they lost by significant margins, their quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, was not in those games. If he can stay healthy, they should be better. Their defense under Brent Venables should be better. They've recruited much better. Like, everything about this says that they should. This is also another wait and see. They're the biggest competition for Texas. OU is at 16. That's a sleeper team for me. All those one-score losses, that could easily turn around. They could easily be a 10-win team and play for the Big Ten championship. At 17, here's another sneaky team, also from the Big 12, Kansas State. Nobody wants to talk about Kansas State, but this is the defending Big 12 champ with an excellent offensive line and a quarterback that got a lot of time last year back for them in Will Howard. Will Howard was 4-0. In games for Kansas State last year when he had to fill in for Adrian Martinez. Now, they have to replace Deuce Vaughn, and he's maybe one of my favorite players ever in college football history. But this is a roster and this is a group that's going to maintain its toughness. They're going to be good on defense. I like Will Howard. Kansas State's going to be a really tough out in the Big 12. At 18, I've got Notre Dame. Notre Dame really... I could easily put them higher. I love their offensive line. I think Sam Hartman's going to be better for them. I just question they're losing their offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees. They lose Michael Mayer, who was just a huge part of their offense. And with Marcus Freeman, I'll be honest, he is a wait and see for me in terms of whether this is going to work at Notre Dame. Like I said, their offensive line is going to keep them in games. And I think that's going to be a hard matchup for Ohio State, similar to why Ohio State doesn't match up great against Michigan. If I was Notre Dame, I would line up with that offensive line and go right at Ohio State in that matchup in September. But Hartman's a big addition for them at the quarterback position. 19, this is where we get like the whole Big 12, kind of swath, because I've got TCU here. TCU is going to take a step back. Now, I get heat when I say that because everyone's like, what? You don't like TCU? No. I love TCU. But remember, anything short of, there's only two steps forward for TCU. They either have to win the Big 12 or have to win the national championship and still make a playoff appearance in order for me to say they stayed even or took a step forward. So are they going to take a step back? Likely, yes. This is a team that I still think is an 8-9 win team, maybe 10-win team. Chandler Morris is going to be the quarterback. The bigger loss is Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator. But if you take a look at what TCU was in those big moments, all those close games, you will see, and go back and watch them because I have. You see Quentin Johnston making huge plays, Kendry Miller making huge runs, and Max Duggan willing his team down the field to some victories in close games. Those three guys aren't on that team anymore. Their play caller no longer there. That's a lot to overcome. So I think 19 is generous. To me, it's benefit of the doubt, and they open with what I think is going to be a tougher game than what odds makers are giving it, with Colorado, who's going to be much better, and their lack of depth is not going to hurt them in an opening week like it would in the end of September or October or even into November. All right, number 20, Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss. Ole Miss started 7-0 last year, lost 5 of 6 when their schedule got tougher. This is when it's harder because there's a lot of teams that you could just throw in 20 and below. I think that there's a lot of really good teams, 1-9. 10 to about 19, I believe in, and I think could have really solid years. And then 20 and below, there's 15 teams that I could have put in this kind of mashup. Ole Miss is going to get the benefit of the doubt. Why? Junkins led the SEC in rushing. I love him at running back. And I believe Kiffin, regardless of what happens in their quarterback battle, he's going to have a guy that's going to play well because I believe in him on the offensive side. He is killing it in the portal. Remember, Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, is going to show up at Ole Miss. So we'll see what happens there. All right.